So Heather Dinich, who I worked with in my days at ESPN, super connected. I think the industry leading expert on the college football playoff, the rankings, all of it. Heather Dinich says Georgia is no longer the best team in the country. And she says she has buyer's remorse about putting Georgia number one. Without Brock Bowers, I have a very difficult time justifying UGA as a top 4 team right now. As in this second, without him, what have they done to this point? Okay, we say that every day on the show. But wait, there's more. UGA has no top 25 wins.
Wow.
Kentucky is the only FBS opponent over 500. Other FBS are 10-24. Well, we totally agree that about Michigan. Oh, I mean, Georgia. And then Heather really got busy. Washington has a statement win versus Oregon.
Whoa.
Yes, correct. Florida State has 2 good ones versus Clemson and LSU away from Tallahassee. OU has the best win in the country. Michigan, the most complete team. What the hell did you say,
So
boy?
let me get this right. Take that down real quick. We were doing so good. So okay. Hey, no Brock Bowers. Georgia's probably not the best team in the country. Agreed. Okay. Hey, Florida, right? OU, Florida State, OU, Oregon. Okay, cool. And then you had to go down the Michigan route.
Michigan.
So you were perfect.
You are placating Michigan fans.
Yeah.
With Michigan's the most complete team. And
because it's garbage.
I ask myself, okay, well, how do we know if Michigan's a complete team? They haven't played nobody.
Are we clear on that?
If Georgia hasn't played anybody.
Who the hell has Michigan played?
Who's Michigan played?
Yeah.
They're ranked number 2 in the country at 7-0. And I would remind you that in the voting, they have 1,492 points, second only to Georgia with 1,541. Michigan. Michigan, the Wolverines.
Who hasn't played Penn State or Ohio State yet?
East Carolina, UNLV, Bowling Green, Rutgers, Nebraska, Minnesota, and Indiana. So where's the quality win? Where's the indicator that they're the most complete team?
It's a refence.
Anybody, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. We always get the Wolverine fan. Oh, God, here we go. Hating on Michigan again. Dad, by God. Okay, how is Michigan the most complete team? What have we seen from Michigan that's like, yeah, that's the best team in the country? They haven't played anybody. I know what Oklahoma is. I know what Texas, I know what Bama is. I know what Washington is. I have no idea what Michigan is. None. I know what Ohio State is. They went to South Bend and won, which now got a lot of help last week with the USC win. What is Michigan? When's Michigan been tested? 30-3 over East Carolina. UNLV 35-7. 31-6 over Bowling Green. 31-7 over Rutgers. 45-7 at Nebraska. 52-10 at Minnesota. 52-7 at Indiana. I'm asking.
Man, wow.
You're telling me J.J. McCarthy all of a sudden, because 52-10, J.J. McCarthy should be a Heisman Trophy candidate. That's the other, help me understand, why should J.J. McCarthy be a Heisman Trophy candidate? Why am I going to vote for J.J. McCarthy instead of Michael Penix? Why am I going to vote for J.J. McCarthy instead of Bo Nix? Caleb Williams? You're looking at a guy in J.J. McCarthy who has really good numbers, 14 touchdowns against 3 interceptions, but against who?
Dillon Gabriel.
Dillon Gabriel, a far better candidate. Because who has J.J. McCarthy seen? And I would also remind you, he's only got 1,500 yards. Do you guys understand that he has not one time thrown for 300 yards this season? Oh, this vaunted Michigan offense. My God. They're such a complete team.
What the fuck are you?
With a quarterback whose best performance was very clearly East Carolina in the first game when he went 26-30, 280, 3 touchdowns, no INTs.
Come on.
But he threw for 143 yards, 2 touchdowns and 3 interceptions against Bowling Green. Yep. Well, I said Bowling Green. This is the thing that I don't understand. All of a sudden, there's a revelation that Georgia's not the best team in the country because a tightrope dude down there, the tight end.
And this is what I don't understand about, like, again, I'm not knocking Dinich, like, personally or saying she doesn't do good work. She does do very good work. But I'm trying to understand and rationalize how you look at Georgia and you say, well, now they're no longer because of an injury. And, hey, Oklahoma's got the best win in the country, she said. Washington's there. And now, with that same logic, Michigan's the most complete team?
I don't get it.
How do you... That's what I mean. Like, I'm cool if your opinion, like, lines up. But to say Washington's got the statement win, Florida State,
2 good wins for Florida
which,
State.
Hey, okay, fine. I can even come to the middle on that. All right, fine. OU, best one in the country. Totally disagree. Washington is right there for best one in the country, but that's another conversation. But even so, how do you look at Oklahoma and Texas and how that game went down and what Dylan Gabriel had to do to win that game and what Oklahoma had to do to win that game, and then do a complete 180, in my opinion, and say Michigan's the most complete team? That's what I don't get.
And furthermore, you said Florida State has 2 quality wins. Then why are they behind Ohio State?
Yeah.
Why are they 4 and Ohio State's 3?
Yeah.
I think the whole thing's a scam. I do. My top 4 right now, I think I would have Oklahoma number 1. I think it is ridiculous you penalize them for not playing. I would have Oklahoma number 1. I think I would have Florida State number 2. I think I would probably have Texas number 3. And then I probably put Ohio State 4. But I am not putting Michigan. I am not putting Penn State at 7 right now. I'm not putting Penn State at 7. I'm not. Explain to me how Oregon only fell 1 spot. You lost to Washington. Oh, it was a great game. It was. But then why is Alabama 11th? If great games that are tight and close don't hurt you, why are they 11th then?
Yeah,
and their loss is to Texas.
Yeah.
So let me get this right. Oregon lost to Washington, fell 1 spot, but Alabama hasn't been able to get back in the top 10, and their only loss is to Texas. What sense does that make? Where's the logic here? That's when we talk about the reasons that realignment is so critical. This conversation is why realignment is so critical. Because there's no such thing as a level playing field or an equal seat at the table. I'm just telling you there's not.
Yeah, and it's like that first tweet you showed where she's talking about UGA has no top 25 wins and, Kentucky is the only FBS opposition over 500. Okay, so if you're going to use that logic, how are we saying Michigan's the most complete team? And by the way, you don't put out a top 25 like Brett McMurphy does or some of these other people.
I don't know.
So, like, at least, because I've been a noted critic of Brett McMurphy's AP Top 25. I have not appreciated the love for Florida State. But, hey, I can respect you for that opinion. And now what's happened? He's come off of Florida State a little bit. I can't even do that with Heather. So I appreciate her reporting.
Wild.
I appreciate what she does. I think she does great work in her articles and her writing and her reporting. That's not what this is about. This is about her interpretation of the word quality when we try to put it on college football teams. Because if we're trying to use the word quality, the Big Ten teams got to show me something first. I'm not just going to auto hand them like Michigan. Okay, great. Beat Ohio State. And I think they have Penn State first, if memory serves.
Yes,
coming up before Ohio State.
November 11.
So, hey, JJ, show me that you can beat this outstanding Penn State defense.
I think it sets you up for failure when you have such a cupcake schedule and then you got to go to Happy Valley.
Yeah.
I don't know how you prepare for that game. And it's incredible to me.
Yeah.
Let's see. Mike Smith says the defense is strong in the media. Oh, I absolutely think that Michigan's a darling in the media. I think ESPN loves them some Michigan Wolverines because they have a huge audience. They have a huge, huge audience. So keeping Michigan top of the table absolutely makes sense.
Yeah.
No doubt. Jeremy Callahan, how the hell does Washington have an equal or better win than Oklahoma? Dude, because Oregon is a hell of a football team.
Yeah.
I
What do you
mean,
mean?
I think it depends on how you value each one of those teams. I look at Texas. I still think Texas is one of the 5 best teams in the country. I think Oklahoma's the best team in the country. But I also think that Oregon's absolutely deserving of being a top 7 team, just not with the logic that these people have used. And I think it's why it's so frustrating is the right way to say it to me.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating. Tarrant County boy, who cares about rankings? Let's see in 2 weeks. You're not wrong. You are not wrong. James, the Oak State fan. What's up, James? You could argue that J.J. McCarthy has played well.
But the problem is, dude, and
14 touchdowns and 3 interceptions.
And you're someone that I would ask this question to. I'm glad you commented on this. You know, whether it's Ollie Gordon or not. How are we? Okay, great. He's put up good numbers, but against what opposition? Right? What was the point of the college football playoff being created? Hey, we're not going to take into account last year. We're not doing anything last year. It's right here, right now. Whether it's the AP or the college football playoff, looking at these teams. Last year doesn't matter. So if last year doesn't matter, and I'm just looking at strength of schedule, which nobody seems to do, and I'm looking at your roster, that's how we should be doing this. Yet somehow folks like Heather Dinich apply one metric to Georgia and another metric to Michigan. That's what I don't get.
I think the biggest issue, James, is you're going off of touchdowns to interceptions. He doesn't have a 300-yard game. He's not the reason they win games. And I think we're sitting here evaluating him on 14-3 when all 3 of those interceptions were against Bowling Green. Like, are we really in a place where we're like, oh yeah, J.J. McCarthy's great? He's a game manager at this point. And his numbers in college are not.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not him. His numbers are not impressive. I mean, Blake Corum's numbers are probably more impressive. He's only got 546 yards. Their defense is what they're winning with. Let's stop talking like, if you want to have a conversation about their defense, Junior Colson's the guy who should be the Heisman Trophy candidate there, not J.J. McCarthy, right? I mean, I'm being serious. If you look at this team, it's just so crazy to me that you're willing to make the argument, and you're not alone, James. Everybody that talks about J.J. McCarthy, he doesn't have a signature win or a 300-yard passing performance. Period. That's all you got. Okay, can't win the Heisman. He's getting votes over Michael Penix. How?
Yeah.
Are you? I could argue Shedeur Sanders has a far better resume than J.J. McCarthy. Far better resume.
Does J.J. McCarthy do what Shedeur's done if he's in Shedeur's shoes?
No,
I
he's
can
not
make
capable.
A strong case, exactly, that he's not even capable.
He's not capable.
So that's why I say, like, it's got to go both ways, right? Oh, well, you guys just hate Michigan. Yeah, you're damn right I hate Michigan. You know why I hate Michigan? Because they never play anybody, and they get a free pass every year.
I don't even hate Michigan. I don't like Jim Harbaugh. I don't like the way he treats other humans.
Yeah.
I've covered him, and I don't like the way he treats other humans. Matt Hergert, Michigan is a cover girl team right after CU. They draw huge TV audiences. Casey Anthony, what's up? Ohio State is overrated. They are. Mike Smith, I'm getting hungry. Who's making sandwiches? John Morant will in about 5 minutes. Wait till you hear the details of that story. Holy cow. Lance Johnson, OU, FSU, UW, and Georgia. Those are 4 really good teams.
Yeah.
4 really good teams. Alabama and Colorado suffer from Aflac. There's an Aflac curse. Harry Austin, where you been, dude? Good to see you. Because Alabama hasn't played as well, I don't understand your logic with Bama. My logic with Bama is if we are using the Michigan tail of the tape, okay, who is Alabama's loss? Alabama's loss is Texas. 34-24. But they've won 5 straight, and they've won 6 of 7 on the year. They're 6-1, 4-0 in the SEC West, on top of the SEC West, and yet they can't get back into the top 10. But they have beaten a ranked Ole Miss team. They have beaten Mississippi State, Texas A&M, both on the road, and they beat Arkansas last weekend. And they cannot get back in the top 10. And they deserve to be.
So the question is the SEC talent better than the Big Ten? Because I think we can all agree it is. Like the mid-table SEC team. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I know I'm reinventing the wheel here, creating fire. Average Joe SEC team's better than average Joe Big Ten team.
And the other question I have is what's going to happen when they beat Tennessee this weekend at BDS? What's going to happen? When is that not going to be good enough to put them back in the top 10? That's a 17th ranked Vols. That's not good enough. That game is in prime time. It is a 3:30 Eastern kickoff on CBS. And if Alabama wins that game, is that not good enough? If Alabama, and then what are we going to say when they beat LSU? Because that game's in Tuscaloosa as well.
That's the one. Yeah.
What are we going to say when they beat a 19th ranked LSU team? What are we going to say when they win at Kentucky? What are we going to say when they beat Chattanooga and Auburn? Are they still not going to be a top 10? If they end the season on a 10-game winning streak and they finish 11-1 and they go to the SEC championship game, is it not going to be good enough to put them in the top 10? Because they're going to find a way not to be there. Because I think there is, and I'm probably being a red ass about it, but I think there very clearly is an anti-Alabama bias. I think people are burned out on Alabama, but that's just me. That's my opinion.
And nobody wants to say that. And it's like, why don't we just say it?
The only guy who can say that is Paul Feinbaum.
Yeah.
Because if Jim Rome says it, or Pat McAfee says it, or whoever you want to point to, people will lose their minds over it.
That's why we have Feinbaum.
People will lose their minds over it. Jeremy Callahan, it's the Texas is back aversion logic. Very, very well could be.
Yeah.
They need an elephant. There's a crimson tie. Land thieves. Not sure how good this OU team is, but they're number 1 in strength of record and 6-0 against the spread. They're very good.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, why are we? It's almost like we're scared to be like, yeah, hey, Oklahoma beat Texas, number 1 team in the nation until next week, right? Like, why are we scared to do that? I mean, if we're gonna go with, hey, TV ratings, drama, okay, put OU number 1 in the country. Knock down Georgia before the Brock Bowers thing happened, right?
Yeah.
Like, shot over the bow of the Big Ten teams. Okay, cool. And then next week, if OU loses, we'll do the exact same thing. Knock them down 5 spots because it is what it is. That's the business. Yep. I mean, that's all I'm asking for. I want to be clear on this. I'm not asking for a particular team to get more love than another. I just want to know what the system is.
And I think the Jalen Milroe part of this conversation we've been having about Jalen the last couple of weeks, the kid's got 26 sacks. How many of those are his fault? The offensive line at Alabama is not good. He's been sacked 26 times. And I think he's only thrown 4 interceptions. Yeah, 11 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 65% completion. And somehow, I think he's holding them back. I truly do. I think there is a bias against him. Tarrant County, boy, Notre Dame has been through some stuff.
Yeah.
You could say that. Casey Anthony, I hope Michigan runs the table. Then I'll replay this clip. You probably will.
Okay, again, Casey Anthony, what am I going to say, man? What am I going to say? First comment should be no other than 1 word, right? 1 word in your first comment. It's your brand on the show, man.
Yeah, jag off where you at.
Yeah, dude.
But there is a if Michigan's defense is who they say they are, and who they've been against this lesser talent, they should be able to go to Happy Valley and win comfortably.
Facts.
They should be able to beat Ohio State at the Big House, because that game's not at the shoe. It's in Ann Arbor. You should be able to.
Yeah.
No problem. Right? No problem at all. We'll see. I don't know. Casey also says Washington would demolish Ohio State. I don't know. That Ohio State defense is.
But that's the kind of game we all deserve.
It is. It is. And whether Ohio State demolishes them or not, I think Michael Penix would. He's going to be a star. Don't mess with Penix, Tarrant County boy. Even with the losses, I'd have Texas and Oregon above Georgia, Michigan, and Penn State. Right now, you would.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boyd Lake, Bama's sketchy QB situation is why. If that position were steady, they'd be ranked higher.
Yeah, and you're not wrong, dude.
Think you're right. I'm not going to agree with her about Michigan, but we haven't seen much of Georgia yet, and they're number one. Seems too simple to rank them number one. They're not. They shouldn't be. I agree. James says J.J. McCarthy is also a junior and has experience. Who cares? Why are we? James, do you walk in here every day and just be like, what can I say to piss off? How can I get fat ass rolling? Is that like what you like? J.J. McCarthy Jalen Milroe has been sacked, I said 26 times. Do you understand? Like 26, the guy got sacked 5 times against Arkansas, 6 against A&M, 4 against Mississippi State, 4 against Ole Miss, 5 against, he got sacked 5 times against Texas. I mean, they're in completely different situations, and he's outperforming him.
With a more difficult schedule.
He is outperforming J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah.
He is a more explosive quarterback, and he doesn't have to run. He does not have to run. And how do you have any kind of positive rushing stats when you're getting sacked 26 times?
And by the way, if JJ's a junior, that's not working in his favor, bro.
Yeah. And Jalen, to your point, Jalen at Alabama, he's essentially a freshman. He's had 0 playing time until this year. Maybe I'm too hard on maybe, you know what? You know. Lopes fan Gabe, JJ McCarthy is a better man than you are, Monty. He is. Tarrant County boy, run, Forrest, run.
Nick Saban is a better man than you are.
It is wild. It is wild how bad their offensive line is at Alabama.
Yeah.
It's absolutely wild. The Monty Show, as always, is presented by our good friends at Bucked Up Energy, the official energy provider of the Monty Show. You guys, I rave about this Shaker Cup every single day. I rave about it every day. And the thing that I love about it, again, I loved it this morning. I love that the blender, I guess I'm not, somebody pointed out in the comment section, blender bottle has a blender ball and it's copyrighted. All right, cool. There's a ball that blends all your product. It's on a it's on a post. It's on a removable post that goes right into the bottom of the lid. And I love that it's on that post. I love that the lid stays closed. It doesn't leak water everywhere. And I dropped it off of the table this morning while I was working out. I'm telling you, it's the best Shaker Cup you'll ever own. Get it in any color you want. In the description below, there's a link. You get the Shaker Cup and 3 free samples. But you guys, I cannot say enough about the racked, R-A-C-K-E-D, racked BCAs. Any of their pre-workouts, and I think we all know, Bucked Up has the best pre-workout in the industry. All of their different models, they have super strong, they have zero stim, whatever you need. Bucked Up supplements are absolutely fantastic. Never mind their energy drinks, never mind their buckshot. Go get the samples now. Don't take my word for it. Buckedup.com. Or, of course, go ahead and click the link in the description below.